have been home for months and able to travel like you normally would during the season, and while you love everyone in your house, it feels like the walls are closing in. You don't have to tell anyone, but love the Lord and truthfully give him everything you have, and tell the truth, things really aren't that bad for you right now. But some of us are tired of being in one place, listening to the crazy antics of the lunacy of a person who has a position in power that is dwarfed by the ill-perceived perceptions of the mind. Some of you sitting in your house love the Lord, but you can't take another mishap, mistake, or misunderstanding, and while you haven't said anything to anybody, just like Grandmaster Flash said back in the day, because of what you're going through, it's almost at a point you're telling yourself and other people, don't push me because I'm close to the edge, and literally I'm trying not to lose my head. But I have a word for you this morning. No matter what it looks like, hang on in there. That is what Paul is saying in our pericope this morning when we begin verse 26, because while Paul has already talked about the importance of knowing and being in Christ, sometimes we need help to understand what we are to do when we are in vulnerable places. It is the place of vulnerability that we find that the Spirit is able to help us in our weakness. Read verse 26 and look at it later. The power in the Spirit assisting or prompting us in our weakness is that which assists us to be able to be better able to direct our prayers toward the Creator in absence of totally being focused on the creation. Paul uses these verses to remind the believer that despite the vulnerable conditions, your vulnerable position, the current contextual environment that you are experiencing, that if you belong to God and if you belong to Him, all you have to do is love Him through everything you're going through, and it is going to be all right. This precept and example is spoken to the believer because in the midst of this pandemic, economic uncertainty, and social injustices, there should be a calm assurance among believers about everything that is going on because we literally understand who we are. There is a confidence or a boldness that is expressed among believers in the times of crises because there is consistency in the one who anchors our faith. When there is consistency in the one who anchors our faith, we are less concerned about what we see and what is going on, because as believers, we understand that if we can see it, it can change. If it is in my view, it has the potential to be out of my way. So our prayer life is predicated on what is happening around us when we're not rooted in God and we're not praying in the Spirit. But when we allow the Spirit to intercede for us, our prayer is rooted in not in the things that we see, but our prayer is rooted in the things that has not been revealed yet. So while people are panicking, believers are preparing for victory, because we already understand that if I am in Christ and He is in me, then I am more than a conqueror. And if Christ has already conquered sin, then right there in the midst of this pandemic, victory is already mine. Therefore, I will not be consumed about what I'm going to do when school starts back and my schedule isn't certain. I will not be consumed about being back in a building when God's people are continuing to get the word. I will not be consumed about tomorrow because tomorrow is not promised, but it's in the hands of God. I will not be consumed about what I don't have because I have a Father who has everything in His hands. I will not be consumed about stuff I cannot change because I understand that if God be for me, who can be against me? Am I talking to somebody out there that understand that if I hang on in there and start preparing for victory, that everything will be all right. I don't know about you, but I'm going to do like that old song used to say, victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I told Satan to get thee behind. Victory today is